Ta-da! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Crash. We just had a great session. I'm so excited. A lot of, sorry, I'm still working over a cold here. So I apologize again for my voice being cracky and if I sniffle or whatever, it's just whatever, I got the airplane flu, they say, right? Come back from Philly. Anyway, we just got off the daily paycheck here and had a good session. I'm going to review that with you in a minute. Also have a little trip report from you from last night. I went to the casino late last night and met up with Jen. So I'll tell you about how that went here. But first things first, let's look at the daily paycheck and see how we did. Thus far, doing good. When I say doing good, we're only down $2,000 now because yesterday we lost our butt. We lost half our bankroll, right? We had a really rough time with the Philly special yesterday. Not because the strategy sucks. It was because John sucks. John yesterday rolled. I looked back at the numbers yesterday. I had 6 PSOs and I had 2 others that only had 1 box hit before the 7. So that was 8 rolls where there was 0 collection opportunities. I don't care what strategy you're running, unless you're on the pure don't strategy. Yesterday would have throttled any strategy we had. Unless you're running a progressive don't, like maybe with the crossbow, nothing else would have worked yesterday. Came back last night and rolled in the afternoon, just as kind of a practice session. Same thing. Couldn't roll a number to save my life. Today, different story. We started out with 3 straight PSOs essentially. 4. We had one roller, 3 PSOs. I was down $1,000 out of the gate. I'm thought, well, here we go again. We're gonna be, another one of these days where I just, suck it up. Then I went off. I had like a 24 roll, I think, something like that. And the Philly special fought itself back, right? In 19 rolls, we made $1,500, which is the idea, right? It's gonna produce well on a good shooter. The Philly special needs to get out of the gate. And one of the things I say about this strategy is this: it takes it a minute to get going. It's very much like a fullback, right? I called it a bar fight yesterday, right? This is a typical Philly play, right? We're gonna be in a street fight. We're either gonna win or we're not. It's like Rocky 5, right? We're gonna be Rocky 5. And the thing is, it takes a minute to get going. It's like Rocky, right? Like Rocky has to get his ass kicked before he starts, getting fired up. Same thing here. It takes 6, 7 rolls to get where you get to that spot where you've gotten 2 collects. Once you get your 2 collects on this thing, then it's all off to the races. And that's what happened on that second, or that 4th shooter today. We got the 6 and 8 hit and we collected. The 9 hit, we collected, and we're out of the hand, right? In 6 rolls, we're out of the hand. Then you need your shooter to shoot, right? And that's what happened. We got a shooter that went for 12 more rolls after that. And that's where we made the money. So you catch a shooter, get out of the gate. The special is a great strategy. It really is a great strategy. But again, you got to get out of the gate. So far, 1-1. I expect by the end of the week, we'll be even or a little up. If we can have a day like today again, that's the idea. You're waiting for the hot shooter. And we have enough bankroll to last for 20 shooters until the good one comes. I know when the good one comes, it can make some money. So with all that said, I want to put a couple comments up here because I know that I'm probably reading these out of context, but I want to put them up anyway. Nemo says, I'm 80% aggressive on the actual tables, and Victor comes back and says, power pressing is fun, which it is fun, but you need a same press regress approach rather than a full throttle press. I agree. When I watch Casino Quest and these guys do the triple Lux, I get it, right? Triple Lux is all about moving the table max in 6 hits, right? The way that I play this strategy here, in 6 hits on a number, I will be nowhere near table max, right? Let's say the 9 hits 6 times, right? From 40, we go to 100. That's 2 hits, or that's 1 hit, right? Second hit's down to 80, collect 140, right? Then it goes to 80, then it goes to 200, we collect 400. Then it goes to 120, we go to 300, collect 6. In 6 hits, you're at $300 on your bet, and you've collected about $1,000 from it. With the triple Lux, you're going to be at $4,000 on that 9 by that same number of rolls. But how often does that happen? This one, I like the Philly special because on the 5 and 9, that G Money special, every 2 hits of a number, you collect. 2 hits, collect. 2 hits, collect. It's a good rhythm. 6 and 8, 2 hits, and you're collecting on the second one. It's press, collect, press, collect. 5 and 9, press, collect. 4 and 10, press, collect, and then it's a hard press. I like the fact that it's got a rhythm to it, and you're always bringing money back. You just got to get out of the gate. You got to get those two hits to bring it back, and then it's going to work. So this one has potential, but I will tell you this, and I said it when I first showed the strategy, the first day I ever showed it. And when I do the video, the long form video for how to play this thing, the Philly special is best played when you start out at free. In other words, if something else you did earned you 270 or 130 or 64, switch to the Philly special. And then you start beating up that long roll. Coming out of your rack at 270 or 130 or whatever you're going to do, it's painful when you don't get out of the gate. I like this one a lot as my secondary play. Like I've already locked it in. Now I can play it. That's when this thing, I think, shines the most. So anyway, there's the Philly special. I was happy with it. So let's do a quick little recap here. Last night, if those of you who watched my afternoon practice, and I will do another one today. I'll do an afternoon practice later today. We were talking about getting ready for the casino because I went last night with Jen. I was going to meet Jen and Ian, but Jen's plane got delayed. So she got here at like 11 o'clock last night. So I rolled up there and we played for like an hour and a half, something like that. And pretty typical session. There was two guys at the table. It was late, so they were kind of shutting it down. One guy rolled whatever. We rolled up. I got the dice first. I was stick left 2. And I think I shot like a 9 or something like that. It wasn't great. I made a few bucks. Nothing big. I think I made 30 bucks or whatever it was on myself. Jen gets the dice, and on her, I did the horseman. And she hit like 4 9s in a row, right? Which on this strategy, as you know, would have been 40 to 100, 80 to 200, and I would have won a huge bank of money. As it was, I was horseman, $10 come bets go to the 9, and I ended up making like 40 bucks on it, right? I completely like FOMO, like, man, I really should have been playing the special here. But I like to go in horseman style or some kind of an iron cross sort of thing on people that aren't me, essentially, right? Until I see what's going to happen. After her roll, the guy at the end rolled one more time. And after that, the two guys passed to me and her every single time. So she and I had the dice the whole night and went back and forth. And we were trying different things out. I tried the 175 strategy from Wayland, basically our crossbow V2, for the don't pass with the crossbow. And I'll tell you what, that thing made a great paycheck. It did great in the daily paycheck. At the black chip level, that strategy is cash. At the $25 level, that strategy sucks. Like, $15 don't, $15 field, $30 on the number. It sucks because you're only making $8 every time. It's too much of a grind at the low level to be worthwhile. At the black chip level, 5 hits in your paycheck. At the green chip level, 5 hits, you made $40, and it's like it's almost a waste of time. And that one whacked me like 3 or 4 times. We're like, we're not getting any traction at all. And I ended up being down a few $100. I think it was down 350 or something like that. Because of that strategy. It just wasn't doing it for me. And I'm like, screw it. I'm going Philly special, and then I got the dice and they said last shooter. Great. So last shooter and the guys kept passing and I'm like, God, no pressure, right? Set a point. I go 54 across, including the point, or not including the point, odds on my pass line bet. And I went off like I just did out in the garage. I went off on like a 20 or 30 roller. And I turned 54 across. I was down 350 to start that hand. I ended up winning about $300. I ended up cashing out a little over $1,000. So I turned $54 into about 600 in that roll with the Philly special. I did flip the 9. I flipped it from $10 though, which it wasn't a great flip. I had the 5 and the 9 both went from 10 to a quarter, and I flipped it there, and I restarted again at 35, got into 100 and back down. I had them both at 80, and the 9 actually flipped for me. So it worked out really good. That thing saved my butt last night. Hitting the small didn't hurt, I can tell you that. And I was the 12 away from the tall. So it was good. It was a good session. Threw really, really good last night. I love that table. Our local table is so much fun to shoot at. That surface is I got used to it. I practice for it. That thing is great. I love shooting there. You know, I wish that roll would have happened earlier, but whatever. It was all good. So that was fun. Let's see. What were we going to say here last night? I'm looking at the chats here before we get in here. Let's see. Skill says Chiro did a late live last night. A deal and 2 or 3 survived. Oh, you're talking about Chiro's live that he did Big AZ style kind of show. That's cool. All right. Let's see. What do we want to talk about here? I want to get into this. Let me go back to here again, and let's do the come that roll really quick. But I really want to get into this betting question that I've got, and I gave it to you yesterday. And I'm going to give it to you again today. We're gonna play at the table here and talk about like the when do you go? And I think the title of today's video is how hard do you go? I want to know how hard you go. And I had this. I was joking with Jen last night at the table. I'm like, man, this is like the regressions that I did last night were crushing me. Like I regressed twice in that big roll that I had, where I profited. I made $600 on the roll. That was a $2,000 roll. Had I not regressed, right? You don't know it in the moment if you're going to regress or not, but I want to talk to you about that in a minute. But before that, quick reminder, Friday Night Fights this week, Vince versus Nemo. It's going to be stone cold crazy on Friday night. You don't miss that one. It's going to be a really, really solid battle. I can't wait. We're going to hype this thing up. It's going to be awesome. Chiro, you're in chat. I know you are. When are you doing your thing? When is your finals for the chip contest? Can you put it in chat for me? And I'll put it up here tomorrow and we'll get it announced. But let me know when is your finals? I want to know when that is. And of course, Craps Chat Sunday. Jeff will be doing some trip reports from Vegas. I know we got to play with George a little bit. He's played with Alfredo a little bit. So I'm sure he's going to have some good insights on how those guys throw. I really want to know what his thoughts are on these guys throwing in person. Seeing some of the better shooters out there. I know some guys had some really great rolls yesterday. So looking forward to hearing trip reports from Jeff on Sunday night. And let's see what else is happening. Oh, the Daily Dose of DI. Here's the thing. I put this out here a long time ago, and I want to revisit the questions, right? The 2 questions about dice influence are these. This is all the only questions you have to answer. Can it be done? And can I do it? That's the things that we have to ask ourselves. When you're pursuing dice influence on any level, if you're just going to set and throw soft, if you're going to do the par toss, my toss, whatever you're doing, that's your 2 questions. Can it be done? Number 1, can I do it if it can be done? That's the second question. So my answer to that is this, because these are the questions that drive me or drive us or you. Do you practice? Do you buy a table or build a table so you can practice this craft or not, right? Was that garage table a $4,000 waste of money? That's the question, right? I mean, it's fun for me to have a table and it's nice to film from out there and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, you buy a table like that or you build a practice set like this so you can practice throwing the dice, right? Can it be done? Well, if you watched my slow-mo last week, the answer to the question is kinda, right? I think yeah, it can be done. Right? You saw my slow motions. I've been telling you all along that horizontal spin that I throw, I know that when it works, it skips off the deck and it spins with the same number that I started with on top, and it hits the wall with that number on top. If the spin is right, it comes off the wall still spinning. That number's still on top. And then it hits the deck again. That number's still facing up. Can that be done? Yeah, you saw it. You saw slow-mo of me doing that, right? I know that it can be done because I've seen it get done. I haven't seen a par toss stay on axis yet, but I'm sure somebody has video that will prove it. I think Duracell's out there rapidly making film to prove me wrong, right? That I don't know that can be done on that toss, but I know this one can, right? I know, even though I've seen slow motion of Ed's toss, it looks like it's crazy random, but he gets in those pockets, doesn't he? Can it be done? Yeah. How often can it be done? I don't know. Can I do it? Sometimes. You saw my video, right? I took 45 shots. About 6 of them were perfect, close to perfect. The rest of them were garbage, right? Full disclosure, mostly random, sometimes good. 10% of them were, I think, Good. Can I do it 10% of the time? Sure. If I can pull a perfect shot off 10% of the time, like I said in that video, that makes me 10% better than random. I'm happy with that, right? Is it worth pursuing is the question, okay? Can it be done? Yeah. Can I do it? Sometimes. Is it worth doing? I don't know yet, right? You have a night where you throw, 9, 9, 3, 30, feels like it was worth the practice, right? Out here, 0.7 out, 0.7 up, 0.7 out. I'm questioning all my life choices. Why am I doing this? Then you have the good one and you feel like you're actually doing something. Don't know the answer to the question, is it worth it or not? But I can tell you this, it can be done. Not very often. Can I do it? Yes. Also not very often. So it's a wishy-washy answer to this question, but these are the things that drive you. If you believe it can be done, practice it until you can do it. And I think that's the answer. For me, you know my answer. I feel like I saw the slow-mo and I was first very depressed, and then I went, wait a minute, there's a couple of good things in here. I know if I can replicate that, I'm going to be okay. So there's that. Let me go ahead and check some PCs and questions. I want to see if there's anything here to address on this. I will get to this here in a minute. Skill, I see your question there. A lot of good comments coming up for what the topic of the day is going to be. So let's get to that in a second here. All right, let's move ahead and tell you another opinion in here about not being quote unquote that guy. The don't be a douchebag segment, right? Don't be that guy. Treating dealers like subhumans. And you know what I'm talking about. This goes beyond tipping, okay? And I'm a pretty okay tipper. I walked in last night. I do it every time. Buy in, drop them money right away. Just out of my buy-in, they get a stack of chips out of the gate, because I do some complex betting sometimes, and I like to pre-bet for them. I always bet the bonus bet for the dealers, right? I always do a pass line. They ride along with me all the time. I give them inside bets when I'm throwing, right? They're getting tips from me, but I'm also making sure that they're happy. That's part of the equation, right? Part of it is the tipping. And we can talk about all the different tipping ways that you want to talk about. This segment, though, don't be that guy, means treat them like people, right? I've seen people, and you've seen it too, man, just really being freaking rude to the dealers. And they're going to make a mistake. Last night, and the casino that I go to locally, it's a lot of break-in dealers there. There's a lot of break-ins, a lot of new folks. And okay, you know your move. You know that you're going to drop a buck. $10 9 pays 14. You drop a buck, it goes to a quarter, right? You know your move. They don't necessarily yet know your move. You dropping a penny out there, expecting to know what's going to happen. If they get it wrong, and I've seen people just snap and just be snarky and rude. Or when they correct a payment, they're like, hey, and they just get this attitude about them. Dealers are making minimum wage, number one, right? They're living on tips, number two, and they're in the service industry. Let them serve you, right? When you're that, you all worried about like treating a waitress bad and getting, something happened to your food, like in restaurants. Same thing with dealers, right? They're service workers. They're working for you. They're trying to service you as best they can. Treating them like crap is not going to get you any better service, right? And I've seen way too many people just being completely like dirtbag rude to dealers. They deserve better than that. So just again, as part of this thing, you know me, I'm all about the vibe of the table. I want the energy of the table to be solid and good. Even if I'm on the don't, I still have a good energy about me. And I think that bleeding into how you treat dealers and your fellow players plays into the vibe of the table. That drags the whole thing down. When you're an ass to your dealers, it brings the whole thing down. So that's my, don't be that guy. If you're having a bad day, don't take it out on them. That's my ask. Just keep me going. Keep the table happening. Skill says, hold on. Skill says Chiro did answer me. Let me look at Midmo-Yo. Midmo-Yo. Let's see. Midmo. What did Midmo so? He says, I'm still getting a hold of one person. Okay, so after the weekend. Okay, cool. So it'll be sometime next week then. Sweet. Thanks for letting me know that. Appreciate it. All right. let's move ahead then. Let's go to, not that screen. Let's go here. And let's talk about the regression thing. So there's a lot of chats here. My question is, where does it end? And I really want to look at the pullback, the mid-roll regression thing. When do you regress your bets? I was joking with Jen at the table. I'm like, oh, this is killing me to regress right now, because I knew, as you saw Philly special today, it rocks. The longer it goes, the better that thing gets. And having to pull back was like soul crushing, because I was at good levels where I was about to make the good profit, but I was behind, right? I was fighting from down 300 and change. So the minute that I got to square, I had to regress to lock my bankroll. And then I got a tiny profit and had to regress a second time to lock in that $100 in profit. And then I went, right? And it took me 3 restarts to make that money. Do I regret it? No. I made money last night. I don't regret it. Had I not regressed, instead of a $300 win, total win, my win would have been a couple of $1,000 had I just played the thing all the way through. But I regressed twice. I regressed once to lock in get my bankroll back to square. I regressed right that moment. I locked in my buy-in. Played for a little while longer. I regressed again and pulled back 100 and change. Locked in 20% essentially for my buy-in right there. And then I went for it. Then I'm like, now it's time to go. Once I have my profit, I always say, right? Get even, get your profit locked, go for the roof. That's what I did. Do I regret it? Hell no, I don't regret doing it. Do I look back on it and go, damn, it would have been nice to have been on that roll the whole way through. But again, I wasn't playing from a point of safety. And I think when you're on the table and you're at that safe point where you've got your profit locked, that's where I would have no regret. I would have no regret having $100 in profit locked and leaving, $700 on the table, taking that big swing. I'd have been fine with that, right? And yeah, right. The 7 came, right? I would regret not regressing for sure. There's no question, right? And I think the answer to these questions here, when do you pull back? Right? The when you pull back question, again, it's personal for you. Some people I know never pull back. They just go. They're just going to ride that thing to the sunset. We know that the Philly special has those collection points along the way. So if you ride it to the sunset, those collection points will eventually get you even, lock your profit, if you can get to them. I was worried last night about not getting to those collection points while I was still underneath the profit level. That's why I regressed. Sure, it wasn't awesome, but it worked out for me, right? So let's go ahead and let's get out there. Let's see, those PSOs. Let's see, make sure I have no more questions to answer before I run to the table. Yeah, make sure you guys do that, Skill. Everybody, put a PC in front of your comment or a Q in front of it so I can find them in the sea of all the chats there. So, all right, let's go table. I'm gonna go back to my table. Let's go zoom in here and turn the light on. And again, I'm sorry for my voice. I know that I sound like a frog today, but it is what it is. Sometimes you can't shake the cold. Here we go. And I want to run a simulated Philly special because I can't depend on dice to do it for me. Let me show you one level of doing this. Okay, we'll do it at the 130 level, which is a good midpoint to get into the strategy. It looks like this. 130 is, and I'll spread these out for you. It's 15, 20 on the 4 and 10, and the 5 and 9. The 6 and 8 are $30. That's 130. Okay, it's 30, 60. So that's 60 and 40. I'm sorry, 60 and 40 is 130. So at this level, let's just simulate 2 things happening. And this is what I basically did last night. I don't want to ask the questions of you, when do you go or not go? So let's pretend that the 9 is a good number for us. Like the 9 hits, and we know that 20 pays 28, like so. And what you would do, what I did, obviously, you drop $2, right? 28, 30, and 20. That's $50. Drop $2, take her to 50. All right. Let's say that the 6 and 8, or let's say the 5 is the next one. Or actually, let's just do the 10. We'll do it. It's right here in front of me. We'll do the 10. So 15 pays 27. Okay. What do you do with that? I take it to 40. Take it to 40. They take the $2. That's your vig, right? That bet's paid for now. It's a bought bet. Now, let's assume these things pay. The 9 comes in and pays, 50 pays $70, right? And we go back, probably here. I probably go to 30, 35. I'm going to take the next, or $40. I'll take the next level up with the 9, right? I got $80, $80 in the rack. Say the 10 hits, right? 35 pays also $70. We can make the 10 look like a quarter. And at this point, what I've got in my rack is 125. There's my 130 that I had started this round with, right? And there's a little tiny bit of profit. Okay, here's the question. And two things to point out. One, Philly special, number one, any 2 collection events, anytime you get 2 collects, you're gonna have your bankroll paid for, your spread paid for. You may also have some lockup. This is cool. This is a good place to be, right? We've got $35 in locked profit, which we like. Question, do you regress or do you go? Okay, and here's the place where I found myself. Wait, but when you're down $300 and you're at this point, what's the right move to make, right? The right move to make, honestly, is this. Pull those things back down, make the 10 back to 15, make the 9 back to 20, and bring back another 50, $65. Okay, lock up some profit here. Lock up something. I'm out of the hand. I'm for sure in profit. If it happens a second time, again, you're on a miracle roll. Let's say the 6 and 8 happen, right? They're $35. You're going to drop $1 out of your rack, make them both look like 48. That's the move. You're going to both go to 48. Give me a second here to get them pressed up. Right, they hit again. It's $56. It's a collect. Right, 55, 56. We collect that. Let's say the 5 has a great run. Right, the 5 hits. It goes to 50. It hits again. Page is 70. Now again, you've got your next 2 collects. What do? What I did last night, because again, I was just getting back to my bankroll being even, regression again. A second regression, right? Put the 5 back to 20, put the 6 and 8 back to 30, and bring all this back home. Now, we're locked. 100, 200, and whatever all this mess over here is, 200 and a bunch of nickels, right? It's about 250 or so. Maybe it's like 275. There's 250, 260, about 270. Okay. Now I've got my initial bankroll back. Boom. Loving that. I've locked 200 and whatever all this mess is. And I'm loving that. Right? We have our rack is looking sweet, right? Initial bankroll, bunch of profit, and I'm back out here at my starting point. Now is when you go. Right? I have recouped. I have scored, and now I'm ready to rock and roll. The problem with this, and here's what I was saying last night, it crushes my soul to do that. It's the smart play, right? For those of us whose money matters to them, okay, if your money matters to you, and it should matter to you, this is an important play to make, right? Take your 2 collection events, lock up your initial bankroll. Take the next 2 collection events, lock up some profit. That's 2 regressions in the same roll. The problem with this, the good thing is this, you're smart. Got your money back, got some profit. You're back playing. This is technically profit too. The profit play on the felt is all profit. And now you're gonna go for it, which is in theory great. And I think skill and luck and our other friends will tell you how smart that is to do that. The or the FOMO piece or the non-smart piece or the kind of piece to this is you're probably 12 rolls in at this point, right? You got the come outs, you set a point, you don't get paid for setting the point. It takes a hot minute to get two of these numbers to pay off. It's kind of hard to do. Maybe make a point, coming out again, a couple more rolls that come out. You got a couple horn numbers in here, right? That you're not getting paid on. You're probably 12 rolls in to get to the point where you got your bankroll back and a little bit of profit locked. And this might be your profit goal. The shooter, if they go off for 25 total rolls, you've only got 10 or 12 rolls left. You don't know what they're going to throw, obviously, right? But you've burned, like the average good roll is going to be 10 to 20, right? Like once you get past the statistical average of 8.5 rolls, to get to 20 rolls, it's only about 2-3% of the people get to 20, right? So between the 12 that it took you to get here and the 20, which is kind of a miracle, it's a pretty small percentage of folks that get that far, right? So to carry this regression, the second regression into profit land, you need a super shooter to get you there. Now, again, in my last session, this is what happened. I got right to here. I regressed, and I stayed at this level then, and I rode this for another $500 in profit, or roughly $500 from this point forward, maybe $400 after a second regression. So had I never regressed, much bigger roll, because these bets would have stayed up the whole time. You follow me? But by regressing and regressing a second time, I have my rack in a position of very, very safe place. And then I'm free to do this out here. But that limits you. And I think when you look at people like David from Casino Quest and some of the dealers and some other channels, they will talk about opportunity, right? By regressing, you remove opportunity. You eliminate opportunity. You lock up profit. You make your rack feel safe, but you remove opportunity by regressing. And there's a little bit of like, about that for some people, myself included. The longer I play, and when I see myself, and I can tell, you can tell when you're on one of those good little rolls, when you're in that position, there's a regret about it. And I think that's why I'm talking to you today, right? I said yesterday, every strategy sucks. Every strategy's got kryptonite. Every strategy has a home run in it. And this strategy is built for a home run. And I feel like after the double regression, you can't get a home run, right? You eliminate the possibility of a home run unless I go off for 50 rolls. But by burning 12 to 15 rolls just to get here, right? You're really looking down the barrel of, I'm not getting to 20. Unless it's a hot day. And that's, I think, the mental question. So I don't have an answer for you. I want you to think about it. I want to present this to you as a thought experiment. Like, okay, what do you do if you were here? Would you have regressed twice in that roll? Right? Would you have taken your 2 hits and regressed to lock or to get square? Take the next 2 hits, regress to lock profit, and then be okay with just letting it ride out? Or would you have just pressed the foot to the gas and let it happen? Because pressing the foot to the gas means not $200 in profit. It means probably, in this particular example, $1,000 in profit. So think through that. Okay. And again, as you strategy build, I want you to keep those kind of things in mind, because you got to build this into your play style. And it's play style. It's also strategy execution. When you're playing your strategy, you have to plan for this. I'm going to regress at X point so that I can lock bankroll. I'm going to regress again at X point so I can lock profit. I might regress a third time, skill and luck. Or you might go half press forever from this point. Whatever your strategy is, and I say not the strategy of what you're betting on, your monetary strategy. How are you going to manage your bankroll? That's part of strategy too. It's not just what you're betting on, it's how are you managing these presses and when you're going to pull out of a hand. Okay. This morning was a good example. We had on the daily paycheck, I had $700 in bets out here, right? We were on roll 18 or something like that. And if I'd pulled it all down, I'd have been at $200 in profit. So the decision was, do we pull it down, restart from zero, that first regression, that gets you back to bankroll even or bankroll neutral and then go again? Or do I stay out and let the strategy itself show me the profit? I elected to do that and it worked out, but it very easily could have burned us. So there it is. Hey, we're at 130 across. What the hell? Let's play it out. I'm leaving my white chips up here for VIGs and stuff. Let's roll a little bit. Let me reset my kitty back here. I'm gonna roll a little bit and let's see how we do. Philly special from 130. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna show it to you at human level. We're gonna go, instead of 130, I'm gonna play this at 64 across, which is a number that most people can consume. I think 64 across is a pretty good number. Most bankrolls can support this, okay? You buy for 500 bucks, you wanna go 64 across on every single shooter, that's great. You got about 10 cracks at this, roughly speaking. Let's see if we can make 64 across Philly special work, okay? And again, we're gonna follow that same pattern. We're gonna get to points where we think it makes sense to regress, hopefully, okay? Let me zoom out a little bit here for you and give you a better view of the table. And I'll get my little roll tracker going. I haven't rolled the dice with you in a long time, so let's go get the roll tracker up. And yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna put this over here though. All right, let's do it. We have a new shooter coming out here. I'll use the white dice. And we got a 9. 5, 4, 9. All right, there's the 9. 5 and a 4, that should check. Okay, here we go. Point of 9. Let's make this thing work. And again, if we can get some rolls, let's find those points at which we want to pull back. And I want you to count the bankroll with me. Okay, if we get these things to work out for us, right? If these bets happen to work, then we'll look at where we stand. So here's the 5, right? And I want to talk G money with you because at the $20 level, you drop $2 and go to 50, right? There's your initial 20, you drop 2, you go to 50. When it's at 40 bucks, which is the way that I taught it on the short, 40 bucks, you drop $4 and you go to 100, okay? Here at the $10 level, it's the exact same move, okay? The $10 level, it's all just basic math, right? We're gonna go ahead and drop $1 because this is gonna pay 14 bucks. Let me get these chips out of the way. This will pay $14. 10, 14 bucks. There we go. You drop $1 to make the 14 look like 15, and it goes to a quarter. So your G money at the $10 level is a quarter. That will eventually pay you 50 bucks in profit. If this thing rolls again, you're gonna earn a total of 50 bucks, okay? At a $20 base bet, that strategy earns you 100 bucks. At $40, it earns you 200 bucks. That's what I love about it. It makes it easy to play. All right, there's a 3-2-5. Did I type it in? No, 3-2. Let's get that 5 to repeat. That'd be great as a demonstration, but we get a 7. 6-1-7, let's take this back. What I'm gonna do here is this. I'm gonna, in my rack, I'm gonna put 65 bucks on this side of my rack. I'm gonna just kind of keep track of how many times we've lost 65 bucks, okay? Instead of, this is kind of like a deficit testing thing. Every time we burn it, I'm gonna drop 64 in here. Every time I win 64 bucks, I'm gonna pay back the bank, essentially. So we'll see if we can make some money here. New point is gonna be nothing. There's a 4-3-7. 4-3, come out 7. This table is a 7 machine, by the way. Hey, there's the 5. That would have been nice, right? 3-2-5. All right, that's going to be our point. Let's stay on it. There's a yo, 6-5. I'd love for the dice to get us to a point where we can make some of these decisions. All right, 5-5. There's a 10, hard 10. So can I flip the 10? We're going to find out. It's going to pay 18 bucks. Okay. Again, I'm going to power press this. I'm going to go ahead and drop $2 and make her look like 30. Okay. And it's going to be a buy bet. Is the 10 typed in? Yes. Aces. There's a 10, 6-4. Cool. 6, 4, 10. So in the when you're flipping the numbers, right? What we do, 30 pays 60. I'll put that over here on the profit side of my rack. That 10, the flip of the 4 and 10, it's a full press, a collect, and then a full press and a collect. Right? We're gonna full press. We're actually gonna power press from here forward. So there we are. We're at same bet here. We've collected money back. As a matter of fact, that win covered the last loss. We lost 65, we just won 70. That covers the loss, but we're still out here on our bets. So we're still, technically speaking, in the negative. There's a midnight, 6-6. Did I put the 10 in? I did. 6-6. 4-1-5, that's our point. But again, we're gonna drop a buck because it pays $14. We're gonna make it look like a quarter. And that's your exact to the dealer, make it look like 25. Here we go, I got 2 numbers that are up. Our second collect is gonna be the decision point. This strategy, you need 2 collects, and that's when you get to think. Autopilot for 2, another yo. Look at the horn numbers. 11, 2, 12, 2 11s in a row. I had 3 11s in a row in the garage this morning. 7 on the come out. Wow. Back on the 10, hard 10. All right, here we go. Another yo. Wow, look at the horn numbers come. 6-5. 8. 4-4. Okay, that's gonna pay 14 bucks. Simple press here. We sister press these 2, so we collect 2. Press them each 1. And there's an 8. So now we have our second collect. Remember I told you about we have 2 collection events? 5, 3, 8 pays 21 bucks. Now here we are. If you look at our rack, we have brought back on this shooter 50, 75, 80 bucks. Okay. We're out for 64. Okay. We talked about this. 2 collects covers your bets. As you can see, we did that. 2 collects covered our bets. Here's the first regression potential. Should we regress right now? That's my question. I can bring, again, we got 2 things to pay. We're not locked in profit, but if I do this, if I bring my 5 back down to $10, my 10 back down to $10, and my 6 and 8 back down to 12 bucks each, right? There's a regression. Here's where we are. Look at the rack. We're going to be at, I'll pull this all out for you here. There's 125 bucks. Okay. Let's do some quick and plus the whites. The first shooter, I lost 65 bucks. If I take 50, 60, $5 out of my current wins, what I just regressed to, that covers that earlier loss. Okay. I'm going to put that back in the bank. That's a zero sum. I still have my rack 50, 60, 4 if I take some whites out. That covers my initial spread for this shooter. Okay. Guess what, folks? We're even. That's bankroll neutral. So that first regression, right? We get to be bankroll neutral here, which is really cool. We made some money, covered our earlier loss. We're bankroll neutral. Now I have a $4 profit lock, which is not a lot, plus the $64, which is also locked profit technically. This is the question. How hard do you go right now? Again, title of my video, how hard do you go right now? Do you go for one more double hit and pull back? Or do you go for it? Is this your home run swing, or are you hitting another single here? Let's get the dice to give us a chance to make that decision. and I'll ask it to you again. There's a 639, okay? Drop a buck, goes to a quarter. $415, same trip, right? Drop a buck, looks like a quarter. 2 numbers pressed, nothing collected yet. 415, there it is. The five works. Now here's the G Money. I love the G Money special. 5 pays $35, right? We started with $10, right? You rack $50. Isn't that a great little move? From $10 to 50 like that. I love that move, right? Now, what I would probably do though, actually, is do this. I would take that 25, get reds for it, and move that 5 to 20. Level it up by $20 and bring some money back to the rack, like so. That's hit number 1. And a progression, 6-5 yo. We're about to have to make another decision here. 314, cool, 314. We're gonna drop $2, make that 4 look like 30. And it's a buy. Actually, we dropping $3, not $2. That's bad math on Johnny's part there. Okay, 314, typed in, let's go. Let's go, 6-4-10, that's the point. Same as the 4, drop in 3, make it look like 30. And the puck is off. Okay, 6-4-10. Now, here's where we are. The 10 is pressed up, the 9 is pressed up, the 4 is pressed up, the 5 has already hit once, but nothing else has collected the second time. This is where this strategy kind of bugs me a little bit. It's hard to get the second collect because you end up in this with everything's getting hit. But let's see if we can make it happen. There's a 4-2-6. That's our point. All right. There's an 8. Again, here we are. Jeez, I lose. 6-2-8. Now we got everything. Everything's collected, or collect mode. That pays $14. We're going to take 2 back to the rack. We're going to press them both up. Everything is ready to collect. Let's get something here. Nope. Of course. The bane of the Philly special, right? You're going to get them all up, and then you're going to have that happen. That happens. Let's bring it back down. But look where we are. We're actually fine. Playing this out at the casino, that would have been nice. Let's actually add up how much we left out here. But again, you're waiting for just one more collect, right, to work the strategy through. And then your next decision would have been, what do you do? Here is 75, 100, 25, 135, 140 in change, right? Was on the felt at that time, okay? Had we gotten another hit, would have paid about $30 or whatever, we would have gone back down to 64 again and brought back $50. As it turns out, we can't do that because of the 7. Didn't get a chance to make the call, but let's go and drop our $64 back out here and let's do it again. Right, there you go. You've got your money to play with because you won it on the last round. 50, 64, there it is. I'll try one more time. And again, I want to get to the point where we have to make a decision. There's 64 out of our rack. And we're even. We actually have 35, whatever this is, $38 in profit, even after getting whacked. Good, 5-2. We'll do one more round and then we'll call it here. Ugh. All right, coming out, it's gonna be a 4-3-1-4. Let me just get to the point where we can make a call. 6-5 EO, 3-1-4. 6-5 yo. Aces. Okay, what's coming next? 2 horns. See a horn, hop the reds. All right, we got an 8-5-3. right, let's get them pressed up. There's 14 bucks. Another 8. That's a collect. The first collect. 5, 3. $21. Straight up collect. Right? 6 and 8 are always sissy pressed up. So $21 comes to the rack. They're ready to go press again on the next one, if we get it. There's a 5, a 3, 2. So again, 3, 2, 5. We drop $1, pays 14, turns that $10 into 25. Make it look like 25. Boo, it's a 6. All right. 3, 3, hard 6. That pays $21. What I probably do here, that's a 3, 3, is drop $3 to make an even bet and bring these both to 30. Nice and easy for the dealers. It's a nice round number for you to remember. Simple little press. They're both ready now to be collected, as is the 5. Any one of those 3 hits, and we're going to be in happy town. There's a 5, 3, 2, 5. Sauce. 35 bucks. Right? Again, it's a net of 50. I'm going to go ahead and progress the 5 to $20 and take the next level with it. But here we are. Right? Right now, there's 50, 60. We'll do 65 bucks. I'm out of the hand. Okay, right now I'm out of the hand and I'm still locked at my initial profit. So we're good, right? What's out here is clean. What's out here is clean. Clean money. We've collected the 6 and 8. We've collected on the 5. I have my initial spread back in the rack. I've got $37 in locked profit in the rack. And I've got extra money out here. I've got the 5 pressed up to 20 bucks. The 6 and 8 are at 30 bucks each. Here's my question. Do you regress now? We have our bankroll back, neutral. We have profit locked. I have 3 bets that are pressed up and ready to rock this thing. Do we rock it or do we regress it? That's the question, right? Put a PC in front of that for me. Let me know what you want to do. I'll play it however you want to play it. But here's that point, right? We have bankroll neutral. We have profit. We have bets out there. What do you want me to do? That is my question. Because this is the whole crux of the day, right? When do you go? When do you pull back, right? How many regressions do you do, right? I can regress right now. If I regress right now, I'm going to lock up another 50 bucks, okay? So think about that, right? If I regress right now, I lock up $50 more. And you know what's coming. I'm going to sit here and have a sip of coffee while you guys are mulling it over. But yeah, you know what's happening. I'm going to show you what the potential is. Okay. If I pull the 5 back and I make the 6 and 8 look like this, back to 12. If I regress back, right, I can pull 45 bucks back to the rack and lock another 45 bucks. Makes my profit look like about $75, right? That's option, right? Right here, that's my option. Oh, the 10 too. The 10 actually has money on it too. I can bring the 10 back to $10. Look at that. I can bring back, wow, I can bring back 65 bucks if I regress everything. Yeah? Nice lock. It makes my profit for sure 100 bucks. That's the regression mindset, right? Let's keep pulling back. Let's keep pulling back, right? But if I get everything back up to where I just had it, let me move these bets back here and go back to 30 in the 6 and 8. Give me a second here to get those bets back where they were. Now we have opportunity, right? I have locked. I got profit in the rack for sure, right? I've actually made 50% profit on this shooter, right? Profit or bankroll neutral, 50% profit on this shooter. And I have opportunity out here, right? This is the question, the right side conundrum. Do you go? Do you go? Or do you come back home? Right? Are you going in deep or are you pulling out? That's the question, right? We're going to stay up here for this next, we're going to get another couple collects if we can do it. That's going to be the question. Am I making the right decision or the wrong decision here? I don't know if it's right or wrong, right? I don't know. We're going to find out in a minute how smart this is. There's a 3-2 or a 4-2-6, right? Our last move on the 6 and 8 was to press them. This means we're on a collect this time. So we just brought back 35 bucks on a collect. The next time they hit, they go up. But right now we're collecting. Let's keep the roll going, right? And here, actually, if you look at this way, there's bankroll neutral, 65 bucks. Here's another 65 bucks, right? We've earned a whole nother shooter if you want to really play for the home run, but we've actually doubled up your spread. Love it. Love it. All right, there's a 3-3-6. Put that in. Oh no, I didn't. What did I do? Hang on one second. I lost my roll tracker. There we go. 3-3-6. Let's keep this roll going, shooter. Keep hot, shooter. 5-5-10. Hell yeah, baby. Remember that 10 we had pressed it before, right? 30 pays 60 bucks. 50-60. Love it. 5-5 hard 10. Now, that was a collect. The next time the 10 hits, it's a go for it. Right? We're going to flip the 10. We've hit 2. Actually, it's our third 10 for the shooter. 4, same thing. One more 10 and it's flipped. 4, drop 2 bucks. Looks like 30. That's the point. Coming out. It's nice when the dice help me have a conversation. If it was just all PSOs, this is a boring talk, but the fact that we're getting some numbers come out helps a little bit. Because now we can talk about missed opportunity if we have a problem. 3-3, hard 6. Okay? The last time we collected here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drop a buck. 5 for $4 change. Okay? That basically gives them $1 because this is going to pay 36 bucks. I'm going to pay it like this. 30. 35. And here's my $1, 36 bucks. Okay, so we're going to pay 35. I'm dropping a buck because we're going to take these to 48. And remember, it's a full press. After each collect, it's a full press of the 6 and 8. They hit again, 56 bucks. That's a collect. We're going to rhythm, rinse, and repeat there. If we can get them to keep hitting. There's a 5. 4-1-5. Remember, the 5 hit before. Right, we flipped the 5 from 10 to 50. Now at 20 bucks, we're going to drop 2 because that's going to pay $28. That pays 28 plus 2 is 30 plus our 20. 5 looks like 50, please. Bam. 4-1-5. That was a high shot. There's a hard 6, 3-3. 3-3. I'm not sure you can see both dice there. It pays 56 bucks. 55, $56. That's a collect. Remember, the 6 and 8, every other one is a collect. By choosing not to regress earlier, these numbers, although they're high, and it's like, man, there's 50. Basically, it's $49. It says 50, 100, 150, plus 30 down here, plus 30 over here. There's 200 and some dollars out here on the felt. That's a lot of money. You pull all that back, you put 200 bucks in your rack, right? Here's where, again, you got to wrestle with yourself. What am I doing here? What's my goal? Is my goal to just show some profit, right? On a short $500 buy-in, bring that money back and you doubled your money up, right? If you're home run swinging, how hard do you go? How hard are you swinging the bat right now? That's my question. How hard are you swinging the bat right now? Right? Because you know what's going to at some point, we're going to get screwed here. 5-4-9. That's our point. Drop a buck. Looks like 25. We're coming out. 7. Ooh, that was good. Good dodge. Way to dodge the ugly. 11, 6-5. There's a 6. There's your 5. All right, on the 8, 6, 2, 8 easy. Let's go. Let's keep this battle, keep the battle going if we can, right? 3, 1, 4. All right, the 4, just like the 10. At $30, it's gonna pay 60. Straight up collect. Again, we can drop our $2 in VIG. I forgot the VIG on the 10, I think, but there's that. Both of these are gonna get big time press the next hit if we get one. There's a 9, 5, and a 4. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. 5, 4, 9. That's gonna pay $35. We're gonna make it look like 20. Just like the 5, we're gonna rack $50. There's a 6. Yeah. All right, 5, 1, 6. That's gonna pay $54. Sorry, $56. $56. Okay. They're at 48 right now. I'm gonna make them both look like 66. 50, 60, 60, 65, 66, 65, 66. We collected the last time. Now we press them up. I'm gonna bring back a little bit, not a lot. Like $20 comes back to the rack. But it's a small collect, which is kind of nice. Let's go. There's a 9, 6, 3. 20, drop 2. It's gonna go to 50. I'm sorry, it's gonna go to, yeah, 20 goes to 50. Drop 2, looks like 50. 5 and 9 are both poised. Both poised and ready to go. There's the 9, right back on the 9. 5 and a 4. Let's get some more coinage here. 50 pays $70. Like that. It goes to 40. Question still remains, folks. Let's look at our rack. Okay, quick little chip count here in the rack. I've got 100, 200, 300, 25, 350, about 375 in the rack in profit. Out here in the felt, I've got 150, about 250 on profit, on 250 on the felt, all profit, right? Again, do you regress or do you go? You got plenty in the rack. You got a lockup that you're happy with. I'm happy to lose this to take that home. Opportunity here. You're gonna play this differently though. Some of you are gonna say it's time to regress this back down to 54 and start over again, right? Or convert to half pressing or whatever. I'm saying Philly Special was made for this role. It was made for a hot shooter to make a bunch of money on it. That's the whole freaking point, right? 3, 3, hard 6. That's a collect, $77. You don't get these rolls very often. When you get them, I think you got to capitalize as best you can but still being careful. We're bringing money back every single roll. Something. We're bringing something back every single roll now. 3, 2, 5. Finally, the 5 repeats for us. 3, 2, 5. Okay. I pay $70. And now it's going to go to 40. Just like the 9. Bring it back 80. Let's keep it going. 6, 4, 10. All right. Now the 10 is about to get flipped, right? The 10 pays $60 for 30. Okay. That's going to look like 100. I'm going to go ahead and go to 75. I'm going to drop 10 to make it 100. Here's the 5 in VIG for that. Now we're taking a big chance. This is a big swing. That was our first power press in a while, but the 10 now is poised to hammer, right? Big hit coming here. Big hit coming here from $10 to 100. That's the flip on the 410. Let's make this thing work. 6, 4. Hard 4, same thing down there, okay? 30 is gonna pay 60. We're gonna drop $10, make it look like 100. 4 and 10 are ready to rock. Opportunity here, right? Big time opportunity. Come on. Ooh, it was so close. It was so close. It's a 213. Man, that was close. All right, here we go. 6-5 yo. Uh-oh, I got a bad feeling. I got a bad feeling here. 6-5 yo. I think that something bad's gonna happen. Let's go. No, we got an 8. Look at that. We hit the point. All right, and that's gonna pay again 77 bucks, right? 75, $77. It's a 4-4. We're on press mode now for the 6 and 8. They both will go to 90 bucks. I'll bring back 25, 29. So even though we're pressing full on those, we're still collecting a little bit each time. That's where the strategy, I think, starts building its own little bit of steam. So there's the 8. That's the point. Let's keep it going. 6, 5-1. 5-1-6. All right. Let's type that in. Midnight. There's the 7. All right, that'll end it. That'll end it. Let's do the sad math first, right? The sad math is 25. There's 50. There's 200. 300, 450, 460 out there. We had 460 on the felt, which is a lot of money, right? We could have regressed it back to 64, to 130, or 270 at any point in time, right? And those are your spreads here. 64, 130, 270. We had 400 and change out here. Any point in time we could have pulled them back, right? And locked up more. However, we knew we had profit in the rack, right? Our rack has how much in it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 525, 535 in profit in the rack. We knew we had about 500 bucks in the rack, which is why I'm okay with letting the 400 bucks ride, right? I'm stoked about bringing 500 bucks home. It sucks to lose the 400 bucks out there that was on the felt, right? The house money, your money, whatever you want to call it, that's not great to lose that. But the opportunity to capitalize on an amazing roll like that, you got to weigh that out. You got to weigh that out. We could have regressed at any point in time and brought an extra 200 bucks back to the rack, right? And again, that's my question to you. So I'm going to come back out here again and go to chat. Let's do this here. Let's go back to the other screen. I think that's what we want. Oh, no, where are we at? There we go. All right, that's the question. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm looking at the PCs. Put a PC in front of it. Let me know what you would have done, PC. Would you have regressed during that hot part of the roll? Or would you have kept hammering it like I did, right? Stay on program, stay on program, stay on program. One more 4 or 10 comes in there, it's 200 bucks, right? That's the super home run there. So, yeah, a note skill. Really? Half pressing? I'm surprised by that. So at some point though, what you could have done out there, and here's a good example, right? I'm doing the Philly special, I'm not leaving the strategy. When we got to that nice profit level, no problem with going to 220 inside or 160 across and half pressing from that point forward. Totally fine, right? We used an aggressive strategy to get a lot of profit. I just stayed with it. Sure, switch to half press, right? You have opportunity, sure. And again, I'm only full pressing every other time, right? You're half pressing like this. I'm doing a full press, collect, full press, collect, full press, collect, which increases the power of each win a little more. So I'm just going every other time collecting. You're collecting every time. That's the only real difference here, but the difference in opportunity is huge for that. So anyway, I think it's this, again, it's a stylistic thing. Doesn't really matter. Of course I do, right? I think there's many ways to do it. I think a single press works good. Single pressing works great too. A lot of it's bankroll driven to me, honestly. And the way I look at this thing, Skill, and everybody, is it's bankroll driven, right? If I'm lower in the hand, right? If I'm barely in profit or if I'm just cutting even, then yeah, maybe half pressing is a way to kind of get to the profit level I want to be at. If I'm already at 500 bucks in the rack, right? If I'm in that case there, I started with 64 bucks. 500 bucks is like, what is that? 400% profit or something like that. If you're that level, half pressing, why? I think that's when you go put on the gas. And that's the question of the day. When do you go foot on the gas? What is your point where you just say, fuck it, gonna lay the hammer down, drop in a gear and we're gonna go? That's my question. There was my answer, right? Once I had bankroll neutral and I had 200 bucks locked up, I'm like, screw it, we're gonna go all in. I stopped regressing at that point. I regressed twice to get to the point where I was good and comfortable. Then we hit the hammer. That was my answer to that question. Your answer may be different, but again, when you're playing your way, your strategy, again, not just the numbers you pick, your strategy is how you're playing that. When do you regress or do you regress? So there's your question. Let's see. Jeremy says, I typically only have half my profit as bets on the table. Interesting. I do like that theory. And if I get to profit level, a good way to look at that is say, okay, take your profit level, cut it in half, lock half, play half, lock half, play half. That's a great way to increase your bet spread. In this case here, I think I could have gone down to 270 and kept riding it from 270. It would have locked us an extra 150 bucks or so. It would have been nice. But again, your call, right? How aggressive are you? And how conservative are you? And how much of your bankroll do you need back? You know what I'm saying? I looked at myself yesterday when I played this at the live casino, and in my head, I'm saying, well, I lost about 3.5, last weekend in Philly and in an AC. I was down 350. I'm sitting here tonight and I'm down about 350. I gotta make money, but I wanted to make sure I locked it in. I regressed twice during that roll to make sure I was bringing home enough to call myself even. I'm now even after my Philly trip from last night. And that was a mindful decision that I made to do it, to make sure I locked instead of going all in. I know you guys think I'm super aggressive, but I'm aggressive when the time is right. And I'm looking at the bigger bankroll picture. And last night I regressed 2 times, like we just did here, to get to the point where I knew I was going to be bankroll neutral between a couple of trips. So I think that changes for every person here. So, all right. Let's see. Questions. Any more questions? No. Sad math. Those are the cold equations. That's right. It is kind of sad math, right? When you look, how much did I lose? Opportunity lost, but there's a cost to not having it out there too. So, Walter Weeks, why? How can I use this DI for the don't better? You know what? The way that a don't better uses DI is this, and I did it a few weeks back. You know that I throw a lot of 1s and 6s. You know that. I hammered the come out. So I had a don't pass bet. I did a horn high ace deuce. I hopped the 1s, and I did it for 9 units. So I was doing $25 horn high ace deuce and $5 on hopping 1s, and I threw an ace deuce and I threw a 4-1. Right? I threw a aces and then I threw a 1-3 on my come out rolls. So my don't pass bet and my hops and my everything else was crushing it. Right? Use DI as a don't pass better on your come out rolls. Right? Make money on your come out rolls, and if you want to play super big, right? Use your DI skills to guarantee yourself a point. Imagine a $500 don't pass, and you know within some relative land of certainty that you're going to land on a point and not a 7 or an 11. You can drop a point out there with a $500 don't. You can drop a point of 4, right? Place it for 300 bucks, and you're going to win either 200 or 100. You're guaranteeing yourself profit that way on every number. If I'm at don't pass and I'm really a good DI, I'm looking to have a huge don't pass, maybe had a come out horn number that wins me, set a point, place the point, and walk. That's how you, as a DI, play the don't. You're not looking for a long roll. You're looking for guaranteed money up in there. And if I did that, I might say, you know what? If I set a point of 4 and I have 500 on the don't, and I place the 4 for 300, I know I'm locked for 100 or 200 either way, right? I'll play 80 something, 88 inside with the $100. I know I'm going to win. I'm going to place the inside numbers, and now I'm going to DI and make some money on the insides. When the 7 comes, I'm going to be solid. That's the way you do it. right? Use it to your advantage. Don't use it to just throw sevens. People think just throw a bunch of sevens and win much money. No, you throw a bunch of sevens, you got to wait an hour for the dice to come back, and that's not smart. So that's my answer. Hope that actually clears up. That might be a good, actually longer segment for the DI section. I might add that to my list of questions to do a separate video on. All right, guys, it's 9:20. I'm way late today. My voice is killing me. My throat's killing me, and I'm sorry for all that, but that was a good session. I hope that you enjoyed the roll. That was a fun little roll right there. And hopefully you got some good food for thought as how you'd play the roll. Good to see a good roll like that and say, how would I have played this roll? Right? When would I have pulled back? A lot of you said, oh, I should have made $5,000 on it. You're buying it for $500, right? You have a miracle like that, you're probably pulling back. And the question is, when are you pulling back? So make sure you got that here. When you're playing your strategies out, make sure you know what your regression points are. When is your pullback point and when is your hit the gas point? It's important to have that set ahead of time and know what you're going to do. So with that said, everybody, I got to get to work. Love y'all. God bless y'all. And I'll see you later, maybe later today, but for sure in the morning. Have a good one. I'm out.